The female prisoner just glanced at the bolt on the table leg, and in an instant, a daring escape plan formed in her mind, so she deliberately knocked over her tray. Predictably, the guard immediately scolded her and ordered her to clean it up, but this gave the woman the perfect chance to squat down. Then, using the guard's blind spot, she quietly started unscrewing the bolt. However, the clever guard noticed something was off and came over to investigate. At this critical moment, luckily, another inmate intentionally smeared hot porridge on his arm and shouted loudly at the guard, diverting his attention. The woman finally managed to wrench the bolt free with all her might. She thought everything was going smoothly until she returned to her cell from the dining hall. It turned out she hadn't realized that as a new prisoner, she missed the fact that the prison had already installed metal detectors. When the alarm went off, guards quickly pointed their guns at her. Since she stayed silent, one guard had to use a handheld metal detector to scan her body. Unbeknownst to them, the bolt was hidden inside her sock. As the detector neared her ankle, her heart was pounding in her throat. This woman was actually a senior engineer who chose not to take the right path. She robbed a bank instead. Even more strangely, after stealing the money, she didn't run away but encouraged the security guard to call the police to arrest her. And when the cops arrived, she surrendered without resistance. What's even stranger is that when the court sentenced her to 25 years, she was secretly delighted. Even more unbelievable, her fellow inmate was her own daughter. When she saw her daughter holding a shard of glass, preparing to cut her own wrist, she simply sat there watching like it was nothing. No one could have predicted that once the guards left, she suddenly rushed toward her daughter and saved her from death's edge. Why did she go to such lengths to get herself locked up? Because she wanted to help her daughter escape this death row prison. Not long ago, her daughter had been brutally bullied by a thug. Unable to bear the humiliation, she grabbed a knife and stabbed him in the neck. Unfortunately, the thug held power in the country, and despite being self-defense, her daughter was sentenced to death. Even when the mother presented evidence of the thug's crimes and begged the judge for justice on her knees, she found out that every judge in the system shared the same last name, Xian. None of them cared about fairness. As a result, her daughter was locked up in the most secure prison in the country, awaiting execution in a month. Desperate, the mother resorted to her own methods to save her child, so she committed a bank robbery to ensure both she and her daughter ended up in the same cell. When her daughter learned why her mother was here, she was completely stunned. After all, this prison was said to be impenetrable, guarded so tightly that not even a mosquito could fly out. How could they possibly escape together? But little did they know, this very prison was designed by the mother herself 20 years ago. Later, she was blacklisted for exposing shoddy construction work and forced to open a small restaurant just to survive. Her daughter worried anyway. Even after 20 years, would anyone remember the details clearly? Then the mother turned around and lifted her shirt, revealing a Greek goddess tattoo, but no visible blueprint. In truth, before entering prison, she had secretly embroidered the entire prison design onto her back in a way only she knew. Now, the first step toward escape was getting tools. That's exactly where we begin in the video. With her daughter's help, the woman successfully removed the bolt from the table leg without getting caught. But she still underestimated one thing: the bolt triggered the metal detector upon returning to the cell. Just as the guard approached with the scanner, about to reach her feet, the woman suddenly